impact on all of you.
Hello, sir.
Tapiwa,
Yeah,
is there
I think I think I misunderstood
the question?
I thought that we're supposed to remove to crop those images in a diamond way, then retain the image which had those images removed, something like that.
Yes, we did crop out. If you notice, we did slice out. That's the exact term that we use in image processing. We did slice out and build a list of the checker box, which was the remember I said I want those ones who are on the diagonal, the X, and there's how many in the X? It's 5, isn't it?
Yes.
And then you put them in one farm or one location, which you set for processing later on, maybe machine learning even. And then the remainder who were in the diamond, I equally wanted them in another location or file or list. And that's precisely what I did for you. You could have done, because the idea is for you to be able to extract the images or to extract a portion of what you need. If you are using deep learning or machine learning, you could even now pick up those as your region of interest. It could be cancer cells, it could be anything else within your image. So the concept and the idea behind that exercise, you'll definitely be applying it in machine learning here and there. And you need to know where to start, where to end. If you check with the piece of code that I wrote you, there's very little that has to come from you, which you're doing by inspection, isn't it? You need the start of the image, and then you need the start of the sub image, and you need the end of the sub, and that's all that you enter there. And maybe the resolution of your display, the fixed size, that's all. And then the rest is automatic, everything is done without you having to manually do anything. Don't you think that's smart?
Yeah.
Thanks. It is, isn't it? So you can even scale. Suppose you had all the pupils or students in this class, 48 of them in a grid. That same piece of code to apply to whatever size, even if you give it 1 million to apply. So if you use a spreadsheet and try to do it from a spreadsheet, just forget it. Yeah? And you'll be working with images which is of high. It could be even you did geospatial data lesson the day before, isn't it? It could be the raster image of a block of residential stands, and you're just pulling them off like that if they are of the same measurements. So it's not necessarily the images, it could be anything you would wish to apply it for. And you just apply it and you have results in no time. So gone are the days where we had to get people to manually do things. You as the data analytics or data scientists, you have to be able to do this quick, isn't it? Is that not being efficient?
It is.
Yeah, if you look, is there anyone from City Council here? Our planners? Do we? Or we are still do the planning the old-fashioned way?
If at all this.
There's none. But those who are into architecture, who are into planning, wherever there's patterns, wherever there are grids, it could even be a chessboard, and you're picking up the pieces from the chessboard, just like that, using code. How do you think they program the games you play? You're going close to that. Okay. Tapio and Ashe, you had your solution, isn't it? Can you share with us what you did?
No, I couldn't do it. I just let me.
The thing is, whenever you attempt to do something, I think Leslie is the one who was saying, I always volunteer because that's my strategy for learning, and it's a very good strategy. So if you don't even volunteer, it's a bit difficult to teach, like simply giving a sermon and not getting the feedback, and you don't know whether you're really making an impact, or especially with this, if we're in a physical class, at least there will be eye contact, there will be body language, and I should be able to tell whether you're following or not. But we are not in a physical class, and the best way to do is to share your screen with everyone else so that we can see. Don't be shy of getting things wrong. We all learn, isn't it?
Okay, let me show you what I did.
Great. We want to make it quick, 10 minutes and we are done. I'll hand you over to Don.
All right. So okay. So what I wanted to do was to make these parts black. So I could only make a slice of an image black, and that was it. That's where I so it's like I misunderstood the question, like I said before.
Maybe you could have put it white instead, because if you wanted to do it in situ, then I think it would have made more sense to have white, isn't it? Can you take us back to the image, the original image?
This one.
Yes. So you see, we got too much of the black there. So if you wanted to tile the images in the diamond section, you could have made those white if you'd wanted. But the idea was to actually extract the image and be able to utilize the image.
Okay.
And leave out the diamond ones as the remainder. The ones that I really needed was the 5, which were checkered from each corner of that box, and the middle one. Those were the ones that I really needed. But you could still get everything, and they have everything right there. Otherwise, well done for getting that one on. That was a good attempt. Anyone else? Tapio, well done. Anyone else? You can turn off your mic. These notebooks we get, they're only as useful as what we understand out of them, really, because if you simply...
Hello?
Hello? Yes?
It seems good. My questions are more, my exercise are
you were not in the, was it the Monday lecture in the evening? Were you in?
Yeah, but we were told
block release. You are from the block release.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about the weekend class. This ought to be the weekend class, isn't it, Evelyn?
Isn't it?
I don't know how he did it, but
sorry, Mr. Brawood, we've combined the class because there were only a few minutes apart in terms of the lectures.
Okay, so they were not there on Monday.
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm sure he must not have been there on Monday. So those who were not on Monday, that's when I gave the exercise, and we covered the imaging. And at the end, after the rest of the student did the remainder of the image, I requested for a special one for the checker box. And I think for those who were there on Monday, they were able to at least attempt. But anyway, nevertheless, you got the notebook, isn't it, if you're in the group?
Yeah, I believe everyone.
Probably it's not in
I
the
think.
class.
Sorry, Tembo.
Yes.
Yes, we did share the code in the group. So I believe if they check in the group, everyone is got the code now. Because we
They should have it.
on just partial.
Okay, that's great. So please check with your Google Class. You should find that notebook there. Thank you. Don? You can take over. I was supposed to take just 10 minutes to wind up. Okay.
Thank you for that, Mr. Proud. So guys, I'll just show you the practical aspect of the feature engineering techniques we worked on, we looked at yesterday, right? So let me share my screen. Okay. Right. You remember one of the first things we talked about was what can we call it? Handling missing values. And we're talking about using an imputer to impute a particular value in place of the missing value. For instance, in this case, we have the simple imputer. So I initialize it here. So what you realize is the shift tab option, it will show us everything which enters here. All the arguments it accepts. So I do not necessarily need to specify the strategy as the mean, because the default strategy is already the mean, as you can see here. However, it can accept other values, mean, the median, the most frequent, which is the mode, a constant, meaning you feel it using a constant value. Right, so that's the imputer. So here you imported from scikit-learn.impute. So initially it was called the imputer. However, imputer was deprecated and it was replaced by this one, which is called the simple imputer. So you fit it to your data. Let me do this first.
Sorry, Don.
Yes.
Did you share this notebook, or you want us to start a new one? Go with it.
Okay. Let me share it. Okay, kindly hold. exactly. Oh, no. Nice one. Good. I think if it's presented in this manner, it then becomes np dot array. Yeah. Something like this. I think we can now work with this. Where is the save option? Saved. And where is our classroom?
Johnny tiri kunzwa iwewe pane zvimwe zvatiri kunzwa.
Bear with me. Ndichiri ku office.
Tatya kuti mugona kuita igulaina baba.
Kana. Sanchikiri.
Handi munoriziva igulaina.
Sa-
Hamuzivi nyaya yeigulaina.
Aiwa, haachitonisanangurira.
Ya umwe mufesi akatenga disk pambari pepe muri driver webhazi rakanzi Japraise latest album weigulaina ndobva abairira zvake chidisk rake asimudza bhazi. Saka sadriver akaoneka usingaoni TV inenge iri kumasure gotsi. Izvo vakomana vanga vamutengesera blue movie. Chakaita chibata baba. Yowe manya mudzime.
Nigga, so
saka usisaita igulaina.
Upload the notebook iro ratiri kushanda naro nhasi riri mufolder rakanzi feature engineering ratikaita nesoro. So ndakamirira kuti mudownload. Spiwe, are you around?
Yes, I'm around.
Okay. Yes, I received your email. Saka ndafa ndangoti ndiwe ndichikutsanangurira takamirira. Do you still have access to code? I want to mirror the snippet.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Let's see. So have you downloaded the file?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, speaking for my yes.
All right.
Still in progress.
Okay.
Hello, Don. Don?
Yes.
Maybe did you download? Did you challenge about to install GeoPandas? Nekonda.
Iri kuti chi?
Iri kubuditsa kuti solve environment non-stop.
There is okay. Saka uchishandisa konda iri kuramba.
Ndikashandisa konda iri kuramba. But because pipi iri kunzi ukashandisa pipi install inenge isina ma-dependencies, something like that. So they recommend konda.
Okay.
But now it's keeping only solving environment something.
Alright, kana pipi isina ma-dependency, I'm guessing you have to install them again, ma-dependence acho. of which the dependents are leaflet. I think it's discussed there. Those two. So I'll look at the notebook, which my library is. Then I'll itemize. So, then,
All right.
yeah. Okay. Now, yeah, just before I begin, Spiwe had said she was having challenges understanding the slicing part we did on the series. Okay, pandas.series. Where is it? Okay. So is this what you were talking about, Spiwe?
Yes.
Okay. So right. So let me do this. It is a print everything per se. So
Sorry, Don.
Yes.
Kindly expand your screen, sir. I like your text. What's that split your screen?
Apa zoomiro yandikaita katori ka full screen jaiko. If I zoom anymore, then this satogoni kutoona part of a cell. So now this is what she was talking about. That she could not tell the difference between when you slice S:2 like this, and when you slice, you put the colon after 2, and when you call 2. Right? Where is S1? Okay. So I just want to help her with that before I just proceed in today's lecture. Come on, work with me. So this is our S1, right? So she was asking about if it's S1, 2, S1, 2, right? It's S1, and S1, so what this code means is pick the third item, which is the item at index number 2, 0, 1, 2. That's why it returns this. What this code means is pick everything up to 2. And you know, like when we slice, the upper limit is not included. So it picks 0 and 1. The upper limit 2 is not included. When you do it like this, we are saying start from 2 up to the end. So it picks from 2 up to the end. Is it clear now? Hello?
Hello, you said in line 4, what did you say? The
I'm
line
saying
5, it's okay. We are picking everything
line 4 is
up
pick
to 2.
at index position 2.
We are picking in the index
Yes.
position.
2, yes.
That's 0, 1, 2. Okay.
Then line 6, you understand, right? From 2 up.
Line 6 is clear. It's from 2 up to the end.
Okay. So answered now, right?
Very much. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So on to today's work. Where am I? Okay, present now. Tab. Is this it? Nah, that's not it. Nice. Okay. So yesterday we talked about dealing with missing values, right? So when we're talking about dealing with missing values, we said one way is to fill the missing value using some statistic. So there is this, a simple imputer. So you can use simple imputer to impute the values. So you see, this is our XS. So you see, none here represents the missing value. NP.none. So here it's coming out as none. So when we encounter such a value, such a missing value, you can use the imputer to fill the value. For instance, you fit, where is it? I initialized it here. I fit the data into the imputer, right? Then I can transform. Imp Yeah. So, can you see this? Here in this column, we had 1, a missing value, and 7. So it added 1 and 7 and produced 4. Right? In this one, we had 2, where was it? 2 and 6. It used a long and excess, right? 1 and 2 came up with 4 here, came up with 3 here. So it then replaces the missing value with, oh yeah, by the way, we did not have any missing value this side. So we can my bad, just add parentheses to this one if it's not running. Here we have missing values in both columns. Can you see? It's used the mean in both instances. So,
Excuse me, Don.
yes.
Exactly where you are. You're saying it used the mean to get that 4 to replace the missing value. Which mean did it use?
Mean it cannot calculate excess dot. Okay. Oh, my bad. Okay, so what had happened here is I had fit this value here. So it was using the mean from this record instead of the mean from this new one. So if you look here, we would have 6 plus 7 is what? 6 plus 7 is
13 divided by 2, 6.5.
Yeah. And on that one, okay, right. Come here. X here is 2 plus 6. We get 8 divided by 2, we get 4. So that's just how the imputer works. So you can use a strategy or you can fill in using a default value, a value. Then we talked about the binarizer. You remember? We had something like this. This is how it then works. It returns an array with a 0 or 1. So it's used maybe if you want to change your data set into a true or false argument instead of the normal items. And we have min-max scaling. With the min-max scaler, you remember when I showed you the formula where it's x minus the minimum of the array divided by maximum minus minimum. So that's how min-max scaler works. No, did I not? Okay, sorry, I did not run the cell. So it changes all the values here into a range between 0 and 1. So the highest value in our data set is 2, because is 2 below. Train dot 2, right? So you find out wherever we had a 2, it then becomes a 1 here and here and here. And wherever we had that -1, we then have zeros. So it changes the range from 0 to 1. That's how min-max scalar works. Then standard scaling. Sorry. I prepared this, like standard scalar, like this. I guess I'll have to upload the fixed notebook. Okay. Let me follow the right steps. So this is how the standard scalar output would then look like. We talked about normalizing. What normalize does is it reduces the range.
Makasira kubva pa standard scalar Butoni.
Mine didn't run.
Okay. Yeah. So aku importer. The scale, and so it then becomes standard scalar. Then you initialize it first. Translator up. We initialize it data panapa, then here is scale.fit_transform. Then Xscaled. So when you're scaling using standard scalar, those would be the steps you then take. We have normalization, which we talked about, which smoothens the tail of our distribution by reducing the range, drastically reducing high values and increasing the very low values. That's what normalize does. Normalize so this is how normalization would then work. So you see, initially our data set was stretching from 2 up to a -1. Now it's just between 1 and a -0.7. Sort of like it was compressed. And you remember we talked about one-hot encoding.
Don, maybe
yes,
before you go on to one-hot coding, what does that 12 on norm stand for? I tried changing it and it was giving.
It's not a 12, it's an L2. Remember when we talked about the L2 norm, which is the Euclidean distance.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. It's the norm. So we talked about one-word encoding, right? Can we see this? Cold, warm, cold, hot. That's what our data set looks like. When we one-word encode it, usually the first step would be to label encode, because we feed some numeric values into our one-word encoder. So label encoding, it replaces these strings or whatever data type with a numerical representation. Right. Can you see this? Cold is now represented by 0, warm by 2, hot by 1. Yeah. So after that, we one-word encode. You label encode first, which is also called integer encoding. Then you can one-word encode. Can you see? Cold, hot, warm. So that's particular. So when you are using pandas, you can there is a library that can there is a function that can produce a similar output. Let's assume we have our series, right? Oh. Okay, bear with me, laptop yakudzima ndansinaisa pachachi. Serious? So we have our Panda series called S, right? So can you see how we can even one-word encode in pandas? The beauty of doing it this way when you have your data frame is you won't need to integer encode first or to label encode. It just takes those strings and it returns something like this. So is it called this is true, false, true? What's the same thing? So when we use this first method, label encode or integer encode, right? We create this one not encoder. Then if we want to revert back to it, to the original value, you use the inverse transform. Then you take the argmax. So what argmax does is it returns the index of the maximum value. In this particular instance, we just took one row, which is 0. One row in one not encoded. Okay, unfortunately, I zoomed my screen so much I cannot display dual cells. Not encoded. So this is our one not encoded. So when I call one not encoded, it's 0. Can you see what we get? So what argmax does is it tells me which particular to inverse transform based on the index of the highest value, the value with the 1. In this case, it accurately depicted code. Let's say, okay, 5. Can you see this? Of which this is now taken from row 5, where it's cold, hot, warm. So you can then revert it back. And with pt.getDummies, you can easily see the representation for each. So, do you have TensorFlow installed in your library and your machine? Yeah, we are going to need to install it as it's one of. It is actually the key model, the key library we'll be using for model development. So as you can see, this is what we get. And
Hi, sorry, I tried to install it. I tried to run that code, but it's saying no module named TensorFlow. How do we go about it?
Okay. Let's see. I have to check because if you use the pip method, it will take. I'm not sure which version of TensorFlow it will take because we are now using TensorFlow version 2. If you use the pip will install the latest, which is version 2. I'm not sure which one you install if you use Conda. But anyway, let me check tf. I'm using version 2. So I think if you can try using Conda install TensorFlow. That way it should work.
Sorry, I'm just new to IET. Maybe if you could, do it in the C prompt, or we do it in
Anaconda
we do it on.
prompt.
Okay.
In the Anaconda prompt. So here I was trying to show you another method of one-not encoding.
What the installation statement say? Can you come back again?
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, yeah. So I was just trying to use TensorFlow to show you how to one-hot encode using the TensorFlow library. You use the method called two-categorical. Then it returns your one-hot encoded item. Many ways of killing a cat. So that's all I have. Let me check with Doc what else we're supposed to be doing today.
You.
Siboa Sangwe.
Hold on. Yeah, so guys, and that's how I talk. So we'll be looking at tomorrow. We'll now be entering into like a new topic, and usually it's quite a bit late. So just install TensorFlow for now. Then we'll meet tomorrow, unless there are any questions.
Yeah, paribo tobatana mangwana.
My note on the teaser. So
I don't. I unfortunately. So. I don't. Include an error on trying to install TensorFlow, even Conda prompt. I mean, how can I reach out?
Hi, Notion. You were breaking up. I could hardly hear you. Can you come again?
Okay, I'm still having a challenge on trying to install Conda, even from the I'm still having a challenge on trying to install TensorFlow, even from the Conda prompt. How best can I reach out?
Share your screen, let's see. Share your screen, let's see.
It's okay. Maybe I will have to wait for the rights to share my screen.
You mean to tell me you cannot share your screen?
Okay, John is still presenting, so I can't share my screen right now.
John, sorry. By the way, John, can you stop presenting so that he can share his screen? Don?
Yes, Doc.
Can you stop sharing your screen so that you can present the screen so we can see what the error is saying?
Hi, Doc.
Yeah, can you please share your screen? Hi.
Okay, it's fine now. Now it has started collecting some metadata, but from the first was just giving me a red thing. But I think it's now working. Maybe let me just share for the sake of sharing. But it's now doing the process.
Oh, okay. Is there anyone with any other question?
Hello. I
Yes.
seem to be having a similar challenge.
Yes, I'm still a bit lost in terms of.
Yeah, a bit lost.
I'm still a bit lost in terms of what exactly feature engineering is. Like, for example, if you have a data set with several columns, how would you determine which ones would be suitable, most suitable to be features, to be considered as features?
Yeah, okay. All right, maybe 1 second.
Okay, there's this part where it's saying solving environment field with initiation what. Maybe we should leave it like this.
What's the spec of your machine?
It's an
Sorry?
ICO 7 8th generation.
It's a what? Sorry?
ICO 7. It's an HP.
Core 7.
Yes, 8th generation.
Oh, okay. So there shouldn't be any reason.
Maybe it's the internet.
Yeah, of course, you need a stable connection.
Maybe I'll try it tomorrow when I'm at work. It's fine.
Okay. So to answer the question that was raised, let me just share my screen. Remember, we spoke about that machine learning. It's a life cycle, right? And I think what's important. Let's see what feature engineering is. So feature engineering is actually quite important when it comes to machine learning, because it is the act of injecting knowledge into a machine learning model. So what are features? So these are items that represent this knowledge suitable for machine learning models. So what is a machine learning model? The model represents the output of the learning process. So let me just go deeper and explain what that is. So let's say, for example, you wanted to you wanted to do you wanted to predict house prices. So if you want to predict house prices, for example, you would go about selecting variables or features that would lead to the ability of being able to predict the price of the house. So, for example, you can choose one variable is, for example, the land size, right? The size of the land determines the price, right? The number of rooms, right? So a 5-bedroom house would cost more than a 2-bedroom house, right? And then whether there's a wall, fence on the property, whether there's a borehole. Yeah. So those are what we call features. So you select features to be able now to arrive at the price of the house based on those features. So we've got what we call feature selection, feature extraction, and then feature processing. So feature selection is the process of selecting those variables that will lead to you predicting the price of a house, creating a model for predicting the price of a house. So let's look at some of the theory. I'm sure you covered this yesterday. So there's what we call in feature selection is what we call feature relevance, right? So a strongly relevant feature is a feature XI which brings information that no other feature contains. For example, the land size brings information that no other feature would bring if you're predicting the house price. Then a weakly relevant feature brings information that also exists in other features. Feature Xi brings information in conjunction with other features. So let's say, for example, using the same example of predicting house prices, we've got a feature like, so for example, we've got location, right? And then we've got another feature called high density or low density area, right? So the location information will give you whether it is a high density or low density location. So therefore, a weakly relevant, the high density feature will be a weakly relevant feature because the information about whether it's high density or low density is contained in the location, right? So irrelevant feature, neither strongly relevant or weakly relevant, right? And then, an irrelevant feature, for example, is if we consider we also call them spurious features. For example, the color of the house, right? Maybe you might attach some sentimental values to it, especially for the ladies. They might be interested in a pink house, but for most people, it doesn't really matter. Is it pink? Is it blue? I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? So therefore, color, including color of the property as a feature, is an irrelevant feature because it doesn't really add value to determining the price of the house, right? Because if you've got properties next door to each other, right, and one is a blue house and one is a pink house, they're exactly the same land size, same number of rooms, and so on. They should go for exactly the same price. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, Doc.
Yes.
Yeah, and then so in feature selection you can have two variables, for example, which are useless by themselves, but when you could then combine them, the two variables, make a lot of sense, right? So there are certain instances where certain information on each does not make sense, but if you combine it with other information, then it makes a sense, right? So in terms of house prices, if you look at for example, the land size, the price of the land on its own without looking at the location, it will not make sense. So for example, if you compare a 1 acre in Chitungwiz and a 1 acre in Borodom, they're all both 1 acres. But without taking the location into consideration, you realize that it will make our model not be able to interpret the price because an acre in Borodo will obviously be more expensive than an acre in Chitungwiza, right? And the location information brings out that that aspect, right? And then you should have, John, I'm assuming that you covered this slide. Hi, Don.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah, I'm assuming you covered this slide.
Which one? Backward elimination. No, that's not the one we were using. We had used
Yeah,
intro
okay.
to feature selection.
Okay. So just to re-emphasize some of the things that you did. So for example, when we the example I'm giving of predicting house prices, you can so there are two approaches to feature selection, right? So features selection, there's what we call forward selection, right? And then there's backward elimination, right? So let me put my whiteboard. Yeah, so the two approaches. So we said there is forward selection, then there is backward elimination. So by forward selection, we mean you start off with an empty set, right? And then what you then do. So this is the first process. You start off with an empty set, right, of features, right? So let's say, and then what you then do is obviously the empty set will not lead to the prediction of the price, all right, of the house. So what you then do is so what we're doing is we're discussing the process of the two types of feature selection. So there is forward selection. So this is forward selection. So forward selection, you start off with an empty set, and then what you do is you incrementally add features. So let's say I add X1. So let's say X1 is the land. Then we will look at how the land size. Then we look at how good does the land size predict the price of a house, right? Right. If it gives us a good indication of the price of the house, then what we then do in the third step is we add X1, right? And then we add another feature, X2. So let's say X2 is the number of rooms, right? If we add the number of rooms, right, we look at the fourth step is then to check whether there is improvement right? We check whether there's improvement in the price of the one. So let's call this at stage 3. So we check and this at stage 2. So we check if price so if we check that if the price 3 is greater than price, the prediction, whether it is improved, right? Are we together on that one? Price 2, right? Is that clear? And then what we then do is we repeat the process and keep adding, right? So the fifth step will be to now add another variable to say x1. Now we now have x2, x3, right? So x3 can now be a variable to say location. Does that lead to us getting a better price of the house estimation, right? So we keep repeating the process until we don't have any more variables that can lead to the improvement of the price of the house, right? So this is what we call forward selection. So forward selection is what we call a univariate feature selection method. So it's a univariate feature selection method. Yeah, so it's a univariate. By univariate, we mean you take one unique feature at a time and you add it to the set, and then you compare whether that leads to the performance of the model, right? Whether that leads to the improvement of the performance of the model. That's forward selection. And then the other one, are there any questions on this? Is this clear?
Yes, it's clear, sir.
Yeah, and then the other method is what we call a backward elimination, right? So backward elimination is what we call a multivariate method. A multivariate method. By multivariate method, we mean that you do exactly the opposite of forward selection. You start off with the full set of we start off with all the variables, right, that you can think of, right? All the features that you can think of, right? Then you use some technique, right? So we're still predicting the price, right, of the house. Then you use some technique to eliminate variables which do not lead to any model of improvement, right? So to do that, you use methods that we call dimensionality reduction methods. What does this mean? So this simply means that if I have let's say if I have let me draw a line. Let me do this. Yeah. right? Okay, let me do this. So let's say this is x1, right? This is x2, this is x3, this is x4, this is and this is x, and then this is xn, and then this is the price, right? And then we move down, right, where we now have x1, n1, x2n, and then here we've got the price. So if we, for example, find that one of these variables, so therefore our dimensions will be m by n. Yes? Is this clear, guys? So our dimensions will be m by n, isn't it?
Yes.
And then if we find that this feature here does not lead to the performance of the model, and we eliminate it from our features, right? Right. So we eliminate. So we eliminate this one, right? Yeah. So what that will do, it will reduce the dimensions of n, isn't it? Yeah. Come on, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So it will reduce the dimension of n. So basically what that means is we keep doing that until we start with the full set, and we keep reducing the dimensions until we can see that so we keep reducing the dimensions or eliminating features until we see that we've optimized the price, our features lead to the optimum price of the house. So this is called backward elimination, because you're starting off with all of the features at once, and you're picking and you're eliminating them one by one. Right. So there are techniques which are used for.
Sorry, Doc.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that. So when we are eliminating, so do we check after every stage, and how do we pick the first feature to eliminate?
Right. So how this is done? There are various techniques. You can do it randomly, or you can select one by one and see if you remove it, does it lower the price of the house, or it doesn't change. So if it doesn't change, you then remove it, right? If it lowers it, you put it back, right? So there are ways, so you can do that. Use random. So for example, you can do. Let's look at it. So you can do random backward elimination, right? Yeah. So that's one technique you can do, right? Is random backward elimination, and the other method that you can do is you can use what is called principal component analysis, right? John will show you an example of that tomorrow. So a principal component analysis. And then the other method that you can use is what we call a feature ranking. Right? right? So feature ranking, you use a random a random forest. Use a random forest machine learning model to be able to do that. So we'll be able to do. We'll show you this tomorrow as part of the backward elimination process, right? So the reason why it's called a multi varied method, because you're starting off with multiple values, right? And then you're eliminating them one by one. So you've got forward selection, and then you've got backward elimination, right? So so there's random backward elimination, right? So you choose the value of the features randomly, and then you then check, as the price gone, our prediction of the price, has it gone up, or has it go down, or has it remained the same? So if it has remained the same, it means it does not have any effect, so you remove it, right? So then there's a process called a principal component analysis. So principal component analysis is simply you rank the features to say, which is similar to this technique, right? So what you do is you look at x1, x2, x3, x, right? So what you do is you look at what is the contribution of these different features to the performance of the model. Let's say this one is 40%. This one is 30%. This one is 10%. Right? Let's say this one is 5%, and so on. So you look at the contribution of each one of these features to the performance of the model, right? And then you then decide that then you will see that then you decide which one to keep, right? After you've ranked them like this. We'll show you how to do that tomorrow using a principal component analysis and a feature ranking. Is this making sense?
Yes, it's making sense.
Yes, hello, getting clear.
Yeah. So part of the reason why you need to
yes, sir.
You need to do feature engineering, right? Is if you are using if you're doing machine learning, right? So when the higher the dimensions, computational power required. So the higher the dimension, the more computational power required to compute the model, right? The more computational power required for the performance of the model. So let's say we've got an m by n. So if we've got, for example, 100 by 100 rows by 20 features, right? 100 rows by 20 features, as compared to 1,000 rows by 100 features, right? So this will obviously this will require more computational power. Right? So that's one thing, it will require more computational power, right? And then there's also what we refer to what we refer to as the curse of dimensionality. So the curse of dimensionality has got to do with the problem of having too many features. So you've got more features that make the model more expressive, but not all of the features are relevant, right? So the higher the dimensionality, the higher the chances of spurious features. By spurious, remember, it means irrelevant features, right? So it means you've got all of these features that you're going to put into a machine learning model that do not lead to the performance of the predictor variable that you're trying to learn, right? Right? Or doesn't lead to learning the data representation, right? So remember, we spoke about that the objective, remember, we spoke about the objective of machine learning is given some machine learning rule that takes in F, and then it maps that to the output Y. So what that simply means is if so what that means is if you've got too many features, right? And some of those features do not lead to the performance of the model. But in terms of the computation that you're doing, is you're just adding them to the computation without them leading to an improvement in the performance of the model. So therefore it costs you in terms of computational power, and then also it costs you in terms of being able to analyze your data, because the higher the number of dimensions, also the more difficult it is to even use tools like pandas, right? Remember, I spoke about the restrictions of R. So let's say, for example, if you're doing this in R, right? So R has got quite a few constraints. So R is a single threaded threaded application. So this is Crane R, right? The open source one. So this is Crane R, is single threaded. What does that mean that is single threaded? So if you look at your machine, so you can see my machine here. If I say control, if I come to the task manager, right, and I come to more detail, if I come to performance, if under CPU performance, if I look at graph of logical processes, right, can you see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 CPU threads, right? So what it will do is it will only use one single CPU thread, right, and not utilize all of them, because it does not parallelize the data processing. It does not parallelize the computation of the machine learning algorithm and processing the data. Right. So what that means is you wait a very, very long time for it to complete because it does not parallelize, right? So that's the challenge with R as opposed to Python, right? As opposed to Python, Python, which is multi-threaded. Yeah, guys, is this clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Yes, Doc.
Yeah. So we'll show you to so therefore it is then becomes important when you get data sets, but pardon me. For example, with Crane R, you will not be able to do anything bigger than one gigabyte, right? But with Pandas, you can do. Of course, there are limitations. You can do probably up to 10 gigabytes. Right? Yeah. So what we'll do tomorrow is we'll do principal component analysis, and then you also look at feature importance or feature ranking, as sometimes it is called, or it's also called feature importance, right? Feature importance or feature ranking. Yeah. Are there any questions on this, guys? All right, so to recap, feature engineering is the most important, is actually quite important in terms of machine learning, right? So if we look at, let me go back. I believe let me. It's a presentation I did. No, that's not this one. This one is that thing that I. Right. So if we look at the effort, right? So if we look at the effort that you put in terms of learning machine learning, in terms of the machine learning pipeline, right? So 30% of the effort goes into data collection and data cleansing. 20% goes into exploratory data analysis, right? 20% goes into feature engineering, and 20% goes into machine learning, 10% into model evaluation, and 10% into model deployment. Right. So you actually spend quite a lot of your effort making sure that you've selected the right features, so that it leads to a great evaluation of how well your model performs. Right. So this is why feature engineering becomes extremely important. Yeah, guys, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
Doc.
all right. Yeah, so tomorrow, well, what we'll do is um, we will do more feature a selection where we will do discuss principal component analysis, feature importance, and feature ranking. Yeah, so we'll do that as an exercise tomorrow. Yeah. So if there aren't any further questions or any suggestions.
Hello, sir. Sorry, can we also have the notes that you are using to explain feature analysis?
Yes, of course, sure. Remember, all of these things we give you for absolutely. Well, I'll upload this. I'll upload this just now. Is there any other question?
Hi, Doc.
Yes.
Mine is on the geo partial thing which we are doing like on the 27th. I tried to follow through, but when trying to get the map for, let me just try and see something, for the vector map for using the MPL leaflet, I'm continuously getting an error which says unrecognized code S.
Can you share your screen so we can see the error?
It's okay. Can you see my screen now? Converting vector map to real world. Okay, on line 40. Okay, this is the error.
Hi, so hi, Notion. Can you scroll so that we can see the cell that you've run that has led to this error?
Okay. Yeah, this is the cell.
So what is it is? Oh yeah. So is your internet? So what it's supposed to do when you run this? It's supposed to pull the map, right, from the internet, and then when it's pulls the map to convert vector to real world. So it's failing to connect to the internet to pull the real. So what oh yeah, so that's what's happening. It's failing to connect to the internet to pull the real world map. Right? What kind of connection do you have?
No. I'm using a Net1 modem, but on LAN.
Yeah. So did everyone manage to convert? Did everyone manage to convert them vector map to real world? Guys?
No, me, I failed to install GeoPandas.
Okay, we can deal with the GeoPandas failure. But others, did you manage to convert vector map to real world? Hi guys, did you manage to? How many managed to run it? Right, they should given the example that how many managed to run it? Guys, how many managed to convert vector map to real world? All of you failed. Sorry?
I did
manage
to run it.
Yeah, you managed to run, right? No issues, yes? So are we saying Courage is the only one that managed to run? Hello? Hello, guys. So we're saying Courage is the only one who managed to run. Yeah. Oh, okay, guys. Let me share my my screen. So Notion, can you please stop listening?
Yeah, it's fine, Doc. Let me just present now. Let me just stop now.
So can you see my screen? So so this is the Anaconda prompt, right? So on the Anaconda prompt, if I type conda space then a list and run this as a command, it will list all of the programs, excuse me, that have been installed, right? And you can see here. Sorry, here I've got GeoPandas. This is the version of GeoPandas that I have installed, 0.6.1. And then I have the other dependency is Descartes version 1.1.0. And then I also have map leaflet Is it? All right, let me open my right. So you were supposed to run these commands, right? So if I'd given the instructions here, so you're supposed to then from your command prompt yeah, so from the command prompt, you're supposed to right? So for example, if I run this command, it will install a map, a leaflet. So did it do that successfully? Because that's what you're supposed to do first, right? So therefore, it's telling me that there's an updated version, and I install, and therefore it's right. It's already installing the dependencies. Then it does that on its own, and then that's it's done, right? And it's the same when it comes to installing GeoPandas. And what you'll see is when I come here and run this, I do not get any errors, right? I can run all the cells. I don't get any errors. You can see it's reloaded the converted vector map to real world, and I can even zoom into the real world map. So did you all manage to install the libraries according to these instructions that I'd these instructions. I put out the instructions here.
Sorry, Doc. On my case, I tried using the Conda install, the Conda Forge, and it was taking too much. I mean, taking a lot of time trying to solve the environment. And then afterwards, it was giving me some conflict errors in the cutting. So I also tried even installing the TensorFlow using that same method, and I failed. But I realized there's another way which I think is you can solve the issue. You have to use the Anaconda prompt, the Conda prompt, then you use the pip method. If I managed to install TensorFlow, then I'll try GeoPandas using the same method. I think I'll succeed.
Okay, all right. So you used pip instead.
Yeah, but still on the Anaconda prompt, yeah, the PowerShell.
And you managed to run the notebook?
Not for Geo. I did for TensorFlow in mine. So I would try. It takes quite a lot of time because it's for downloading the files. I think it's about 400 megabytes for TensorFlow. So I'll try the GeoPandas later on. I'm sure I will succeed.
Yeah, okay, all right. So guys, so please install the environment first, and then you can run the notebook. Okay, guys, are there any other questions? So this is the challenge, I guess, with virtual learning, because if it was a real class, what we usually do is we go around and we help you resolve your environment issues, right? To try and get everyone to share their screen and show us their issues. It becomes a bit of, it will take the whole day. So I'm not sure if anyone can suggest a better way of solving your environmental issues. Probably the best is to take a screenshot and share it on the Google Classroom, and I'll post a solution for that particular error. Maybe that's better. Yeah. Yes, guys. Yes.
Yes, Doc.
And are you seeing my screen? It's been going like this for an hour now.
Yeah, so this has got to do with your with the speed of your internet connection.
Oh, okay.
Well, what are you installing?
TensorFlow.
Yeah, so if you're installing TensorFlow, TensorFlow now is about 420 megabytes. So of course, it's going to take some, and then it also has dependencies, right, as well, that it needs to install. So obviously, TensorFlow is something that you do when you're about to go to bed and you just want to leave it installing and you don't want to do anything else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it does take a bit of time to install. All right, so guys, as we've agreed that if you've got issues, please post the issues on the Google Classroom and I will respond with a solution. I think that's probably better because you might get, a number of you facing the same issue. I was trying to share the screen going one by one. I don't know how long that will take. All right, guys. So thank you for attending. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Guys, use the pip install. It's faster, and I think that will resolve the issue.
How do we do it, Chris?
Okay, let me share my screen and you see what I'm doing.
Code yacho. Share code.
You do it.
Yeah, but okay, I'll just show you.
All right.
Data air and yes.
Pipi inozostora madependency because like iscreen anikura because ndoparatira kunostora nepipi yavandi padzisaera
yainstalla in TensorFlow ndatoinstalla nePPU madependencies esi ndikarana Jupyter notebook riya ndirikurana ndacheka
TensorFlow it's okay zvese ndarana nepipi nini but pajapandas manje hamawani
but pajapandas apa ndakamboipa time ikapedza everything but yakandudza issue maconflicts akawanda so haina kuresolve futi maissues acho so I think ndikatry apa tunataka kuzoedha maybe madependencies acho even one by one like sambotaura naDon Papa kuti maybe we have to find madependencies.
Yeah, boss, but it's okay. Havana leaflet vainstalla neconda vane discrete what vainstalla neconda but only Japandas ndokuramba kuinstalla neconda.
Japan ndokuramba chete saka wasati wainstalla futi
and sad not solving environment is taking ages so one.
Yangu yatombo failed message.
Alright, code yangu yandipa futi error but code yacho you just use the same shell ye conda iyo then you not got pip install the next package name kit.
Pip install.
Notion, are you still around? Notion.
Yes, I'm.
Did you manage to
still in?
Did you manage to install GeoPandas? And how did you do it?
Yes, I did using the what do you call the Anaconda prompt, the Anaconda prompt way, and I managed to do everything.
How long did it take? Maybe I'm cutting it before it finishes.
Yeah, it took some time, to be honest. It really took some time. Maybe around 30 minutes or so.
Around 30 minutes? Alright, so maybe I should wait. We'll try it again.
Yeah, just try to be patient. Or just
so
try
I now
during the witching hours. No conflicts. Try during the witching hours, around 12 midnight day. You win.
Okay.
So you still at midnight.
I've been trying for the past 2 days.
Anzi mukaenguva dzekuroya na Notion.
We should be patient, but it's giving me some errors saying what you're not honestly. No error will be.
Exactly. Those are indipa wezo. Zairu kuramba chimondipa.
Hello team.
So make sure I know about some error you're honestly.
No, for GeoPandas,
I missed out the script name.
I never got any error.
Moses, you were saying kuti ukainstalla nepip inokupa haisi madependency. Did you try ukasucceed nepip isina madependency?
Can you help us name instructions kuti how to store?
You were saying kuti ukainstalla nepip haisi madependency. Wakambotry here nepip.
yandibasakuira yangochibudisa panhingirimi pacommand prompt paka. Then I leaflet when install, maybe match when install, but the geopandas now is not what that. But maybe we should keep on researching because if Elimination managed to install it, maybe there's somewhere that we are getting it wrong.
That's exactly the same problem that I'm facing.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, as Don, friend, I can go on that's rare. This is
right, thanks.
This is screen here.
Sure, sir.
All right, Mirati, yeah. Right. Magonant. Right. I'm gonna line here.
Yeah.
You go tell my line here. Jupiter. Manswell.
Jupiter, all right.
All right, chat box.
It's already there. It's gonna do. Leslie, it's already there. It's gonna do. Oh yeah, it's not done. All right.
All right, boy. Then mapedza kuisa mobile shift enter pamwe chete. Kune kunge zvinoshanda, kune kunge hazvishandi.
Is that an exclamation mark before people?
Yeah, yo tsedo.
Huh?
Tsedo. Tsedo.
Oh, tsedo. All right, okay. Okay.
So are we opening a new notebook?
No.
Chero no open a new one. Chero rovam beta kudara.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, thanks.
Yebo, mapedza unyore. Then
Wait.
Atitapedza tongo press shift na enda ka1.
Pamwe chete
Ndangopressa ka1 hapana. Okay, let me try again.
Aiwa, mira, wakatopressa ka1 inotora nguva.
Unotora time.
Handi have open.
Yeah. Ine ka star ndiso zvindruko inotora time.
Yeah, bo.
Atopressa
Wait, zikisai pass.
All right.
What do we press?
Pip space.
It's na enda ka1.
Beba kwamba phone kawana saka
It's na enda.
No.
Shift na enda pamwe chete. Hakune kunge zvinoshanda. Hazvishande kwese. Ndizi yangu rizini.
Yangu ine ka star foot.
Ina hapana chandiri kuona bana.
Mari?
No response.
Aiwa, tarisa pakanzi line up. Pane number iri pa line up. Ndomunopinda ka star up. Pakanzi line up.
Ya, zvakuita.
Oh, saka bo. Any package. Mari?
Unotora time yakareba sei?
Zvodhipenda ne-internet connection yauinayo.
Command errored out with exit status 1.
I'm not good at knowing my errors. Iri line ndangokupa kuti rinoshanda handizivi kuti setsinga. Ini kwandiri rinoshanda. Hello.
Matitinodzvanya ti?
Shift enter pamwe chete.
Yandirovera error same error yandipa ku command prompt kuya. So I think what I've do error command okay, command errored out with the exit status 1. Chakakurisa chiera chacho.
That's the same one I'm getting.
Python setup.
Hi guys, error yenyu
Muda kuti share screen.
Yes.
Hey Leslie.
Right, I'm sharing.
So
any challenge?
That one.
Okay.
Yeah. This one.
Keeping storage your pandas.
Python setup.
Yeah, that's the same error.
Yeah, that's the same error that I'm having also.
Just for curiosity's sake, if I remove GeoPandas in the case, Mamshi TensorFlow, but need the same, you're not gonna try with it. For TensorFlow.
Yeah. What's
yeah,
that?
but for TensorFlow, you know that time because you know that time to download the files actually. TensorFlow I need to go.
All right.
But the time not
I see I can run it the same way, but not go with some GeoPandas.
In the Shantisa command pro, I can to progress in terms of my downloads actually repart.
Okay.
Command prompt too.
We can just use pip install. Yeah, pa Jupyter or pa command prompt.
Pip install TensorFlow.
Sorry, I have a question. What is the difference of installing Jupyter and installing through Anaconda?
Is this the correct spelling, sir?
That's not the correct spelling, Leslie.
All right. What is
S-O-R.
Okay. Like this.
Yeah, that was it. I work no rara because no for 2 minutes.
All right. And this kiran, then you will no go see, but at least then antim tayo not in. So what's the verdict? Because in the kind of kuno, you can go to solving environment, or you panda.
Indakatomboita ikapedza yakatora time yapedza so inostanga kulista maconflicts acho yobva yatadza kucompleta futi saka
apa ndinogona yato ndiyambondipa imwe error pasolve environment yadzoka futi yakuti
no, there is the list.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Leslie.
I just say.
You only what your error is saying.
Command prompt.
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
You want the command prompt.
Command prompt is fast. No. Right. Open your commands. Open your Anaconda.
Okay, this one. This is the status it is.
Press Control Z, I think it should cut.
Wait, Control Z. The press. Should I press again?
Close or open it.
So this guy is going to person like that. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So I'll push them.
What you call it? Pip install will. Yes. Install will.
Install will.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, will. All right. Like this. Let me enter.
Yes.
This is but it's not digital. And maybe I'm I smell you by the digital with an option.
Yapedza.
Yapedza.
I'm in the
Then?
Uh-huh.
Where Auntie?
All right. Cheetah. GTAL.
GDA.
GTAL. G.
Oh, sorry.
Geopandas.
GDAL. Like this.
Yes.
All right. So I think though conflict for all of us, and it. Because as I've still good as it.
Okay. Tirambe tichenda naye tuone if it works. Makangoita zvinenge zvanaka.
Nyaramba. Ndizo. Is it correct?
No.
It's still going.
Yes.
There's that red part.
Okay.
Yaram.
Rana foot to one. I have to check.
This one GD.
Yeah. Okay, before we install GeoPandas, my commands actually can do some chat. I'm thinking this should work. If we're using pip.
I'm running it again.
Okay. Pani and Aisa.
All right. And Mudatishan say Anaconda prompt.
Yes, Tirukoko Anaconda. Pani and Atu is of chat.
Okay. I've copied all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wait for this one to finish running, and did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yadiba my errors.
Okay, so Rachirana UI.
Control V.
But for some reason, Irukutata could build.
Oh, okay. I see what it's doing.
Commands akwana pip win anorana kadaro.
Yes.
Oh, Irkuto is say 1111, and did it?
Yeah.
But Kosara NumPy.
NumPy chatbot already exists. For Karone NumPy mkati.
Okay, successfully installed. Beautiful. NumPy.
Done. Oh, you have to install a NumPy, then I think they move to what? Pandas, young guys, nabasa guy. Shapely wangoga installer, but anyway.
Then Shapely, I don't think so. Innovations. What is going on? Is this okay?
Much named encodings.
I don't know. All right, it's okay, Rabek.
Huh? Why is it pip win
CMT wind building cage.
Building cache. Hang on.
Serious,
could he?
Why is it taking time? Is it
because of the internet connection. Which ICO 5 is.
Yeah, eco Wi-Fi.
Angafungidzira kuti aitewo
Mine is a Core i7, but iri papo futhi.
Apa because
8 gig RAM Core Wi-Fi.
but funny question, seven asina kushandisa ningrekeni. What do you call it? Conda kuinstalla geopandas. Inopekadzirisa all those dependencies.
Ina have Conda installed.
yairamba
Yairamba ichitichi.
Pasolving environment apa it takes time anditi ayazopedza yobva yazoti resolving conflicts. Saka pakuresolve conflicts yozongohenga yobva yafaila kuresolve conflicts. No, ndakatoisiya kusvika yapedza but yakatozoramba. So I will try.
What was the final year? Not kana yatoresolve conflict. Inobva yakuudza kuti this library aribvumi.
Oh, cheto maybe ngoti after that ndinozotarisisa era yacho but kana zvarambisisa I will try again. Ndomboisiya manheru painternet iri.
Kana tindomboisiya futhi.
So I'm thinking continuous people in E. It's in chachita chikone kurova negrekeni. Then once GITO is installed, I'm gonna install Fiona.
GITO yakwazoita here.
Aiwa ndoyaita red error.
Inoramba chita error.
Yenyaita.
No, it's not.
Maya. Then. Apa yasho. Oh no. 2 hours ago download achi. Nampai.
I think akaenda kuduzo nebooster.
Maya. Right.
Nditori like ita one ningie home boost what. Wi-Fi.
Okay, so ungaite so. Press Control Z, ucancel ipapo. Poland.
Okay.
It's a Control Z, see tank.
Died.
Jida na Fiona ndori kunetsa.
Chinchangoita stare pepi chete.
Kujida kupana msikamuna anonzi jida.
Andi chi ndikewe.
Di godo.
Okay.
I pressed the Control Z, but it's not cutting.
Control C, I think.
All right, Control C.
So you can pick any notebook. Still.
Cancel. Close it. Open.
Right.
Pip install Jita Fiona then.
Right, Pip install Jita.
Atangane pip win before Jita.
Okay. Like this?
No, pip install pip win.
Oh. Pip install
pip win.
Right. Pip. I Pip win. All right, like this.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Okay, reka tuone chilota.
What's the lowest rate?
And the requirements already specified.
Pip install Shapely. Shapely is shape why.
Install G?
Shapely.
All right.
Shapely. Yeah, and I saw it right home.
Like this.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, paid. Now we have PP.
Fiona.
Yeah.
Fiona. Okay.
Fiona charamba chita ukanasati hapo.
Jiddo yaita.
What that's number is a Jiddo. Pip install pip win. Then pip install Shapely.
Pip install cheetah.
Pip install cheetah.
Fiona.
Fiona asiwa. Anza aiteka na pasina Jiddo.
Fiona
wait.
All right.
People
install cheetah. Sana akaita era.
Right. People install Jiddo.
Akaita era.
Yeah.
Right. People
install.
Eu vou anotar com isso.
Memory, but not.
It's just 21 megabytes. It's due to internet. It is slow.
Internet is very slow.
Yangu kuramba era futi. Irungoti failed building wheel for Jiddo.
Wamboita here ya pip install wheel yatamborowa pamusoro pai.
Ndaita pikutanga ndaita.
Pip wins.
Then apa wakaita pip win install cheetah.
Ndikazoita pip install pip win ya pip win Jiddo ya.
Why jamba?
No, ndaita mamwe esa pangoramba Jiddo na Fiona ndo aramba pane mamwe esa ndapira.
No, even inonzi pip win install cheetah.
Yeah, yaramba.
Okay, kana yadaro manje. It means Parkway will. Since it cannot install Jiddo, so that you won't shandisira ma commands and akunyora. On install channel on the forge water.
Do yamboramba kaidon.
Yekuita ndinokona era iri kundibudira pakuisa. Not you can
Microsoft Visual C++ 14 or greater is required in those errors.
mune manhumbikinisi dependencies. Oh yeah. I am told in person actually. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Semi. It's a flash area that I want my dependence. Yeah, echo considers. Okay. Is it Visual C++? Redistributable GG. Install those files.
Visual C++.
Redistributable.
Do you know installer?
Yeah. You are going to install like the normal way.
Normal way. All right.
C++, Visual C++, redistributable.
I know what are the latest.
Not necessarily. Installer from Akutara up to the latest. I'm not sure the some dependency challenges. I think it's one of them.
Oh, all right. They're going to try to download the button.
Yeah. I think Papa from when simple was it 2009? Huh?
I think so.
Up to around 2016 or 2018. Solar AC.
What do you solar AC?
Yeah. And yeah, good at that was what Chinoko Zamburuvichi. I send those that for no Ayusa. I know Ayusa.
Kristi technological zvauri kuita zvikashanda zvichimboresa na jidhawa.
Yeah, inini jidhawa ndearamba saka ndandaona era yesi ++ iyo redistributable ndienda installa manje ndikapedza ndinoona kuti
saka technology unota download zvikazobvuma yatimboona jidhawa.
All right, it's fine.
Jita watengeta kumuina. Almost 65%.
How about my auntie? Did you manage to install my auntie?
Yona.
Maono zvandoshanda nazvo.
Saka uyu kana chiimporta Fiona nti import Fiona as my auntie.
So
are we installer?
Yeah.
Hello.
It's husband, you know.
Yeah, ndimbori start saka ndichadzoka zvangu.
Mari?
Ora ndimbori start ndichadzoka.
All right.
We are here, guys. 24/7 support.
Guys.
Even in the middle of night, guys, don't hesitate to call. We don't have boss.
Adaro boss anamkazi.
Tell me what.
Plan.
No, guys, listen. You were friends before my wife.
Tazogara naye pasi mkomanadzika.
We can't reach.
yangu yaita successfully installed JIDA 3.2 chapter.
That's bad.
Waiting for you, Leslie.
Yeah, it's now at
Hi guys, in
70%.
hello?
Hi.
I managed to install JIDA. Ana Fiona papa ndo pari kufira zvese.
But try a pip install Ishmael.
You're in a default area.
Ita on.
Aiwa. Okufurirwa Angela.
Kana unogona kungotanga ungogwina ukasiza.
Kristi waroner.
Adzoga.
Fiona ari kujamuka.
Takusvika.
John. Fiona ari kujamuka.
What chance you pip install Fiona or pip win install Fiona?
Pip install Fiona. Could I try pip win install Fiona?
I think try pip win install Fiona. Unless I'm wrong, because the chance pip win install JIDA. And then
I use.
Sorry.
Okay, I was saying I use pip win install Fiona ndo yandilambira.
Okay, so pip install Fiona yazaita.
Yaramba, ndo yandaisaidini.
So let me try to change ndonochi inoita here ndikangoti pip install Fiona.
Yangu yajamuka rekanditombodzwa ndimbodzwa kuti redistributable. Ndanditore
Saka yasavandari naemama Visual C++.
Ndaisa Visual C++ kantira yari kudari kuti toda version 14 or greater.
What if you try to download it? Maybe the latest version. I don't know.
People install Fiona yaba.
Pip win install Fiona.
Yeah.
What is the harm yekuti kona Fiona yaramba wenda kumberi dzabvuma uzodzoka kune dzaramba?
Indaistela mamwe yese but still anditi pandas ndiyo yatiri kuzoda at the end saka hakwanisi kuenda unoinstalla pandas kana usati wapedza JIDA na Fiona.
Oh, successful. Wait, yaita. Guys, yaita.
And I don't get a people install GeoPandas.
Yeah, the boys are successful installed JIDA.
Good. Saka ndakungoti pip win install Fiona nditi.
True.
Yeah.
Zvinoda
Fiona. Itayo. Fiona short.
GeoPandas anenge akuita. People in anenge ari kushanda.
People in and it's quite fast. Wakadiki.
Kaika dikilesi ka with people in kajo.
Ka Fiona. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Fiona. Yes. So wait, Sarah, the next would be G to people in install GeoPandas gonna pip install GeoPandas.
Ndaita people in install GeoPandas.
Okay.
Unenge eri kuita iyoyo.
Christy was a Sarah Papa.
So Leslie.
I'm not the Sarah Papa again.
GeoPandas, I think you
install GeoPandas.
just use it.
Sorry, there's a lot of music. Don't. All right. Okay. Dangote people in install GeoPandas. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, innovator.
Innovator.
Young to successfully install GeoPandas.
All right. What else were we supposed to install apart from GeoPandas? TensorFlow, and is it?
Yeah.
Wait,
So
so TensorFlow on the ends, that time. And then,
that time.
And then tinoita zvekuti pip win kana tongoti pip install tensor.
I don't know. As you don't have a
Oh, he's there.
Unoda pip install in TensorFlow. Razi yakura mafund something MB saka anga mawanda.
TensorFlow yakakura. Aiwa kukura yakakura, but at least antindoyatinzi to unosiya ichirana.
Nini yangu ichiri kurana right now. Pese pamamtita na Fiona na Jida. Chingorana TensorFlow.
Yazoita here yako.
The bigger portion I think yapedza, but ichiri kupedzisa like it's the file is 370 MB. Then yakutanga yapedza udaro ipapo yakutanga kucollecta mana TensorFlow what estimator what those are yakuita izvozvo, but those files tunenge
also install a TensorFlow ne people.
Oh,
TensorFlow it's either Urushansa Konda or Urushandisa Pip. One of the two.
Or Pip.
Oh, son, Nongoti Pip Panava.
Yes, Pip install TensorFlow.
Pip install TensorFlow.
What is the difference, Don? Could you not long install a people? I shan't
And certain number Shandisa, but I know the differences issues. You're not gonna consider a challenge. They're trying to prefer to install using a uniform way that way.
Okay. So you said I should say Ponder install TensorFlow.
Yeah, but Pip installs the latest version of TensorFlow, which is actually it's at 2.4.
So it's best to use Pip. That's what you're saying.
It depends.
Because Conda no cheaper a version in Kumashu.
2.1. Yeah, as long as it is version 2.
Yes, much.
Okay. At least my GeoPandas yet.
I ndakapinda busy. Ndakada 2 days ndichitera.
2 days. Ha, saka ndoita ndomborara ndozokontinue.
Kokudzokorora. Dzokorora zvakaita.
Rega ndimbosolve issue yeVisual Studio ndo area yandiri kungoresika. Nini challenge yatika ndeyekuti computer yacho yakaloadawo zvinhu zvakawandisa mana. Sandambonetswa nesoftware sezvandaitwa.
Yeah, it's quite big. But yangu iri kuti inopedza in 12 minutes. Don't know how true that is.
Kana the connection iri ichimhanya zvai.
Mamwe yakuenda ichiita better because handine zvekuti night neday.
Yeah, maybe.
Most people are sleeping now. So at least the geopandas. Christy, you're the only one yako yaramba, is it?
yangu yaramba saka ndamboinstalla futi another version Visual Studio C++ hiyo.
Kana yangu yaramba futi kuda Visual Studio 14 or better.
But on download the EPU.
Okay, ane yaramba ngashe
15.
Yako Leslie Geopandas yaita.
Yes, yaita. Thank you so much, Don. And crew.
That share nechi.
Share screen.
All right. Mira ndimbo restart da install futi izvo saka mani ndichange nda restart ndozo share afterwards.
Beautiful.
Ndakurara hangu TensorFlow ichingoita ini.
Angel.
Yes, Leslie.
Yako ya Zeta.
Inasha, I have the same issue as what, Auntie? Visual C++.
Wait, the GeoPanda. Your TensorFlow.
No, my TensorFlow ndaita times dzanga chichitaura na doc PyPy.
Alright.
But Chasara, it's GeoPandas.
Alright. Yeah. I know Christy chari kutry kuinstall anti Visual C++, but the later version.
Oh, okay. Where did you get that?
I'm not sure. He's coming back online. He has to share his screen and then.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he's online. Christy.
Download the internet.
Oh, okay. It's fine. Let me also try to do that.
But shimbomira akutanga napedza because maybe hazvishandi futi kwandiri.
All right. It's fine.
Mose.
Debbie. Debbie. Someone called me.
Yeah.
Ndikutaka kuisa reviji Microsoft Visual.
Hello, come again.
Ndikutaka kuinstalla Microsoft Visual. Ndamboinstalla 2015 yaramba.
Okay, share screen yako tichiona tiende kuGeopandas tione.
Alright.
Apa ndochitongobatsirawo 1 or 2 yokupedzisira ndichienda kumba. Ndichiri kuoffice. Imagine.
Zalo on screen. Hello there.
Okay, hello. Yeah. Rekatish tangira hapo. Nditire pip install pip win. Okay. Ngati chita pip win install Fiona.
All right.
Como é que faz? Como assim?
Nama waza ndini best friend saira mkuru wakatofana toenda kuminda rutaura.
Amai kutokopa chaiva ndisutombokona. Yavatondiitira ndokupaga ndopasonjana.